Hello, guys. My name is Mark Jones. Uh, I'm an ex-Welsh rugby international and um, rugby league. Uh, I've travelled and played all around the world. Some with rugby as my it's not excuse, but my main it was my main um, the job for 18 years. I'm, I'm a professional rugby player for 18 years, and I'm Welsh from a little town called Tredegar in the valleys. It's an industrial town, and I've made my way in the world from humble the beginnings. It must have been around the age of 6. Yeah. I was a shy little boy, taller than most, and a little bit on the nervous side. But that's all changed now. When you're in school at that age, you don't really notice when you're playing and you're amongst others. But as I was getting older and when I was being asked in the classroom if I'd read a book aloud, you know, it was then that I realized that I had a bit of trouble speaking out loud to others. The local rugby club that started up a mini section, and my father, it's well, as any Welsh father is, mad on rugby, and he pushed me in that the direction, and that was where it started really, and it was a one hell of a release. I I I wasn't the tall boy with the stammer no more. I was reasonably good because I was bigger than the most, and I was reasonably fit and healthy. So I just ran with the ball, and it made me feel so good. It was a wonderful, uplifting experience for me. And so I sort of then, once I'd regained a bit of confidence, that then progressed then through the school and the local under 17s and 18s. And I got picked to play for Wales then in the youth side, which is the under 19s, when I was 17. And it was all, like, looking back now, it was all feeding off my stammer. It's my niche. Then I'd found what I was reasonably good at, and I went with it. And that's where it started. And from there, then I left Tredegar then to play for Neath. And then I played for Wales, and then I've rugby league scouts. Then they came down, and I went to play on in Hull Rugby League Club. I moved to Warrington Rugby League Club, and then when rugby union went professional in '97, I returned to Wales then to play professionally again in Wales. So rugby was my life. I've had all I've ever had in life out of rugby. And looking back, it's been the drive that I got out of my stammer has forged me ahead, has made me push ahead with what I loved. As a Welshman, or Welsh boy when I played this, yeah, playing for Wales was the pinnacle, yeah. My father was a one-eyed Welshman. Well, he wasn't one-eyed, but he had one blazing red eye in the middle of his forehead. All he saw was Wales, yeah. And to him, playing for Wales was the pinnacle. Right? And so that's been instilled in me, from a kid. And that was for me my first cap. I played in 1987 in Scotland, away and the game was lost, but I scored on my debut.
They're looking for someone to drive over for him. This is Jones, the scrum half. What a tackle by Hastings, but it's a try for Mark Jones in his first international for Wales. The big lad from Leith is simply overjoyed. And that's due reward for a good...
And it was just an amazing feeling. The crowd, 80,000 people in the crowd, like, and I'm it's a little boy with a stammer who's running out on that field. It was just, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up now when I think about it. It's just fantastic. I'm so lucky to have had rugby, man. I'm so lucky to have achieved that. It's just amazing. It's every person who achieves it, whether it's in sport, it's in art, it's in any walk of life, okay? They all need the drive. Something will give them that drive, okay? For me, it was my stammer that gave me the drive to go forward. I didn't want to be the person I was. Yeah, I wanted to be something else. I wanted to leave that behind me. Yeah, and I used my stammer to drive myself on, but I went outside the parameters really, and I was a bit of a bad boy, and I'm not proud of that at all. But if you can channel it, it can become an unstoppable force in whatever form you want to move forward, whether you want to become if each of us has a little talent that we're better at one thing than another. Yeah? And if, like, people are good artists, if football players, they can, the basketballers, they can write songs, yeah? If you can harness the power you have, yeah? You can use your stammer to move yourself forward, to succeed. There's no need to be sat in a room locked away. We all have a talent and we can all succeed, mate. But we've got to channel what we've got, and we've got to be not afraid. We've got to recognize it ourselves and go forward for it. I would never accept I had a stammer, and that was the issue with me. Now I've got total self-acceptance. Yes, I have a stammer. Yeah. But then my stammer, my anxiety, my hurt, my fear, my pain owned my life. And that's all the focus was on, was to get through a day, and that was also to get through the sentence, really. I fought it all the way, and now I can breathe, and now I can speak. I do stammer, yeah, but I'm back in control, not it in control of me. catalyst of it was my wife. She said to me, Mark, I love you, but I don't like the things you've done. You've overstepped the mark. And that was the seed that started me thinking and self-reflecting. And then I came to the conclusion then that it was all, as I've just expressed, that it was all driven from my speech. And I started to accept myself. It didn't own me anymore. I wasn't afraid. And everything is not come together, but it's made a marked impact on me as a person. It's like made me more mindful of myself, and more self-accepting. I can recognize when and if my speech will become worse because I'm wound up or I'm tired, and it's become like a whole life-changing experience, yeah? And I've written it all in the book there. The book, right, it's available on Amazon, right? Online. It's also an ebook, right? You can also purchase it from St. David's Press, yeah? The fella, the publisher there is Ashley Drake, and he's the distributor. Also, you can get it in all major bookshops, Waterstones, Smiths, all those sort of things. But you'll have to go in and ask them, and you'll have to order it, and they can get it then next. I launched it last November, and in Wales, it's been really well received because it was a story that no one really knew. Well, they knew I stammered, but they didn't know how it feels and what you go through when you stammer. Because like you know, and like other people will know, unless you've unless you stammer or you've lived with a person who stammers, you will never know the extreme emotion, and each minute is a car crash, and it's exhausting. You go through a day, you try. What people who don't stammer don't realize is the stress you put yourself under. They can just walk in a room, open their mouths and speak without thinking. Person who stammers like me or you, whatever, we have to think about every little thing we do. After this, I'm working it in a school, and you know, I'm a mentor for one or two lads who also stammer. They're 18. It's like in amongst the stress of doing their A-levels, and it's all getting on top of them. And I'm attempting to pass on to them one or two of the lessons and what I've learned of how I coped with things. And they seem to be responding well. They're doing good with it, yeah. So that's it's like, isn't my dream, but I want to give a little back, because I've lived it, I've been there, and I'm not out of the woods. I've progressed a little bit, yeah, and if I'm able to give anybody any bit of advice or to help them out in any way, I want to do that, you know. because I've lived all those emotions. I've been through it.